You're ugly and nobody likes you. If you got offended by this, there's two reasons for it. First one is you have a low self-esteem, and the second one is you kind of believe it's true. Let me explain. Having a low self-esteem is what makes you easily offended to everything, because the lower your self-esteem is, the more you see any sort of remark or joke towards you as an attack. This is the biggest difference between the groups of people who easily get offended, and the reason that you probably get offended easily at people throwing jokes at you or saying anything towards you, while there's some other people who you can literally say anything about and joke about anything and laugh at them for whatever, and they'll just laugh it off and not get laughed at by the group, but laugh with the group about that thing. And because simply they will never see those things, those remarks as attacks, because they have higher levels of self-esteem. I talk more in depth about this in my course, first link to the description. But basically, the lower, again, your self-esteem is, the more kind of easily irritable you become. And you can kind of imagine it like your skin is thinner, right? It's easier to hurt you with any remark, and you're more kind of sensitive towards any jokes or anything that's aimed towards you. When you improve your self-esteem, which you do by improving your self-respect, is what ends up happening, you can imagine, is you get slightly thicker skin. Not necessarily a shell above or like an armor above your skin, which is what some people do, but you specifically get slightly thicker skin, meaning people can kind of poke at you, but you do not get offended. What you don't want to do is you don't want to get like a full-on shell, like turtle shell, which is what happens when people get so offended at remarks of other people that they completely close themselves off, and they just don't really get offended by anything, but they also don't really allow any nice feeling, if that makes sense. They don't get offended, they don't feel anything negative, but they also don't let anything positive in through the shell. You don't want to achieve this. You don't want to get to this point. You again want to have slightly kind of thicker, mental skin, whatever, but you don't want it to be overly thick or overly thin. The way that you develop this is by, again, improving your self-respect. Self-respect is equivalent to self-esteem. The higher it is, the higher your self-esteem is. And the way that you level up and increase your self-respect is by just starting to respect your own word and showing yourself that you are someone who can be respected. Think about it this way. If there was a person who every time you told to do something or every time you trusted them with something, they failed you or they snaked you or they lied to you, would you respect them? You wouldn't even like them, let alone respect them. But this is what you keep doing to yourself constantly. Whenever you say that you're going to do something like go on a diet and you fail that, and when you say you're going to start working out and you skip a day tomorrow, or you skip a day in a few days, or you stop working out altogether, and when you say you're going to start waking up at 5 a.m. but then you sleep in tomorrow, whenever you make a promise to yourself that you break, you are showing to yourself that you're not someone who's trustworthy, not someone who is worth respecting. And so naturally your own self-respect goes down, and with it your self-esteem, your self-image, and you start seeing yourself as this kind of loser who's not really confident, which again is the whole essence of having low self-esteem. Your self-image is of this like loser. And when you have that self-image, again, you easily get offended by everything. Your skin is kind of like thin, you can imagine, and it's not a good way to live. So again, the way that you just improve your self-respect is to start saying or doing what you say. If you say that you're gonna do something, you go and you do it. You start respecting your own word, and with that, you start respecting yourself. The second thing that easily gets you offended, and the reason that insults or remarks can hurt you or do hurt you, is because you kind of believe that they are true. Imagine this. Imagine if I went and I called you short, but you were 7 feet tall, right? You were like 7'3" tall. You were super tall. You were a giant. And I went and I called you a shorty. Would you get offended? Probably not. simply because you know that you're genuinely not short. You're like the tallest person on the planet. You're the furthest thing away from short. And you know that this remark that I said is kind of just dumb and it's untrue. But if I go in and tell you you're stupid, you might get offended because there's no objective evidence to show that you are not stupid. Because calling someone stupid isn't something that can be based on like objective like evidence. It's something that like, oh yeah, I just tell you like you're stupid, and it just comes down to what you believe. If you believe that you're stupid and that what I'm saying is true, then that's going to be offensive to you. But if you 100% know that you're not stupid, that you're intelligent, and you fully believe in it, I can tell you're stupid, you're dumb, you're everything, but you're not going to get offended because, again, there's not even 1% of belief in your mind that that might be true. Again, this is the essence as well of just never getting offended at any stabs at yourself. You just have to have such high self-esteem. Again, it circles back. High self-esteem where you believe so highly of yourself that when someone tries to tell you or put you down, like tell you you're dumb or you're this or you're that, you know that it's not true, or you at least believe fully that it's not true, and hence it just cannot bother you at all. Now, if there does seem, this is like a life hack, if there was someone who is being mean to you, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's some bully at school, and they keep messing with you, they keep like calling you names and they keep insulting you constantly, and you can't really get into a physical altercation with them, or maybe you can't even talk back to them, the best way to deal with a bully like that is to literally just agree with the insult. First thing is just not get offended. Again, you want to get to this point where they genuinely cannot offend you with anything. And then if you just want to get them to stop, you just start agreeing with them. So if they call you stupid, you don't say, I'm not stupid, whatever. You say, yeah, I am stupid. You're right. What you do by doing this, by saying this, is you're taking away all of their power, because the whole essence of them bullying you comes down to they bully you, you try to deny it, you all get all protective, and then they end up kind of jumping off that and bullying you some more. But if they tell you something like you're ugly and you say, yeah, I am kind of ugly, you take away all their power, because what are they going to say now? Haha, yeah, you are ugly. It's like, yeah, you just agree with them. So there's no friction there, which is what he's looking for. There's no fight anymore. You agreed with him, so the duel, the fight is over, and he doesn't have any more ammunition left. All he can do is just kind of leave awkwardly and have the conversation end like that. So these were things, methods, and just kind of ways to get more resilient towards insults and to kind of become more disciplined when it comes to people trying to attack you, to get offended slightly less easily. But if you want to learn about this more in depth, and you want to learn to improve your communication skills in other areas, and speaking to girls, and confidence and mental health, you can check out the first link in the description. That is where you will find the absolute best information that I have gathered over the last 3.5 years that I have been improving and studying about this topic. You will find it all neatly packaged in this very nicely packaged in this course with video modules, which will get you through from having no social skills to having top level communication skills, top social skills, confidence, and all the rest good stuff. If you found this video helpful, I think you'll find a lot of value in this video right here. Click on the subscribe button and do the work.